6 straight hours of crocodile torture. Little Lindsay Wallace won't know what hit her. Yes, next weekend on the Drive-In Asylum double feature, we will be welcoming the Neon Brainiacs once again for a stunning double feature of Hunter's Blood and Eaten Alive. Backwoods Terror.
Moonshine themed drinks probably next week. Just heads up.
Make sure you go to the liquor store and get a special kind of moonshine that Sam will dream up for the cocktails on next week's segment.
Yeah, so I'm super excited. I've never seen Hunter's Blood, but I may have seen it live a whole bunch of times. But I'll be yelling out all the dialogue at the screen as I do.
Dustin's seen it. He saw it in a theater. I didn't even know what that movie was till they suggested it. Yeah. That's the Neon Brainiacs choice.
I'm excited to have them on, though. And the episode that Bill and I asked questions, their 50th anniversary show, is up right now, which you can listen to.
That's right. And I was really happy to hear that they edited out all those sonic booms that happen when we talk too loud on the microphone.
Yeah. That was a fun night, though. They Friday 13th 3. They went deep into it. And if you hate Shelley, you'll have friends on the Neon Brainiacs. It's a good chunk of the show.
There was a lot of hating on Shelley, which, you know, of course, you already understand that Shelley was one of my favorite characters in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. But those guys are awesome. I'm really excited to have them back on the show. And one of them is in the barn, too, which is pretty funny. He's a victim in it.
Only one of them? I thought they were all in it.
I only think only one of them's in it, I think.
Oh. Was it Ben?
Yeah, Ben.
Okay, so Ben Deedles was in it.
Yeah. So I'm glad. It looks like people really actually enjoyed our movie, so that's great. I like it probably even more watching it the second time just for its oddity of it's very much we were talking, it's a kind of a made-for-TV movie that wasn't. There's a thin line between made-for-TV movies and exploitation movies. This has all the pacing of a made-for-TV movie. I really like the scene of the old woman staring at the person taking out their trash and just kind of letting them go and just staring into the night is pretty creepy.
Yeah. Oh, I lost my train of thought there. I wonder why. Chris said he likes Last Rites, a real find. Like my brother has bad dreams in The Bride. That's high praise.
The Bride. I was thinking about The Bride again yesterday, Bill, of what universe the people that live in that movie come from. Everybody's crazy in that movie.
The Bride.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. I don't think we
everybody.
talked about this on the program, but the woman that he's making out with at the wedding, his former girlfriend, that's
Mm-hmm.
Irma Jean Saraceni, and she's from Pittsburgh.
Hmm. Wow.
Oh, so it sounded like you were chewing. Yeah, it was. She's a Pittsburgh actor, and she does a lot of stage work here in Pittsburgh. She's actually in Creep Show. She's Billy's mother,
Oh, okay.
so she's married to Tom
That makes
Atkins
sense.
in the movie, not in real life.
Hmm.
Anyway,
No,
continue. The
no,
bride.
that's awesome. I love The Bride because why would he be making out with her on his wedding day? Why would they be moving into this house? There's so many questions, and that's probably why I like it so much.
Yeah, nobody in that movie behaves like a normal human being, so that's what makes it so interesting, I guess. Right?
Nobody in this movie acts like a normal vampire. They show up in mirrors. They go
Yeah.
the Martin route for injecting people before they bite them. They have medicine cabinets with stakes at the ready. Like stakes are everywhere. They're in office drawers. There's so many stakes, and they're vampires. You think they wouldn't want to have stakes? Um, it's something else. But they're everywhere, and like does and like it's a they had a pretty good scheme going, right? You, but am I to believe that no one in the town has ever realized that good chunks of two of the biggest institutions in town, the funeral home and the police, are vampires?
Mm-hmm. It looked like a very small town, so you'd think that kind of thing would get around. And not only that, they would run out of victims really quickly.
Yeah.
They also were able to
And
move around in the daytime by rubbing mortician's wax on their skin.
how did the old woman? Well, I guess that was day for night with the old woman. We considered it, but yeah, it's uh, it's an interesting theory. I guess maybe they're in a good part of the highway and a lot of cars. You know, what I mean, it's like they're like there's a gas station in town where people stop off. Very much a dead and buried situation. When people come into town, they get them. But I don't know. It's a good plan, but I don't know how long term efficient it is killing old people when it seems like it's definitely a finite supply of old people in your town, unless they're in Florida or something, and they're not. They're in New Jersey, but you know what I mean. If it was like a Florida town and they just keep getting old people as they come in, not that only old people live in Florida, but
Yeah.
so yeah, I dig it. There's a lot of car stuff in this movie too.
Oh, yeah. They loved those muscle cars. It was all
Mm-hmm.
about that kind of thing. We were talking about the kids from Phantasm and their fabulous muscle car.
Your Hemi Cuda, yeah. I said I just want the Hemi Cuda to drive past him in one scene, just blow past him. It's like, oh, okay. But I guess that's a very not. I have neighbors that are always tuning up their cars too, but it feels like a very '70s thing. You know what I mean? Like if everybody had a Mopar and they were, it's very much, maybe it's my small town thing, but that was a big deal of like working in your dad's garage and
Oh,
fixing
it
up a
was
Mopar.
in my town too. It was just like that was what anybody talked about. And it was another thing. We had neighbors who they had this
Mm-hmm.
like I don't even think it was really all that nice of a car, but it was an old Mopar. And they talked about it like it was the best car ever, and they always had the hood up and they were always in there like messing around. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing in that car? Like it's a car. You get in it and ride around. Like if it's not working right, you go in there and tinker with it. But like it's like Dr. Frankenstein and Andy Warhol's Frankenstein. I must
I had
stay
my
inside.
one of my roommates in art school had a Challenger, and it broke down every day, and it would just be like, oh, like we lived like from Oakland to downtown, and just that drive to downtown, it would break down every day on the Parkway. It was
Oh
nightmarish.
man. I guess it
That's
was
kind of I realize now. Like my dad had a Charger as a kid, and like it was, for two kids, it wasn't the best car, right? Like there's a reason the Dukes just slide in and out of the windows. It's not like a comfortable car to get in the back seat. And I remember he sold it so that we could get a station wagon. And I stood there with him while the guy who bought it drove it away. And I just remember how I'd never seen my dad sad before. I was probably 3 or 4, and I was like, now that I'm older, I'm like, oh fuck, like I was taking away the last bit of his bachelorhood. He had that beautiful Mopar, and now it's gone.
my mom had a Challenger when I was like
Mm-hmm.
4 years old. She had a
Mm-hmm.
Challenger, and then for some reason we got rid of that car, and she got a Nova after that. Remember the
Wow,
Nova?
Chevy Nova, yeah,
Um, so yeah, they were obsessed with cars in this small town when they weren't sucking blood, right?
yeah. And they've learned how to do a lot with mortician's wax, how to cover up um, nail, the neck
Yeah.
bites, and how
Well,
to cover their
they
faces.
had like those little round band-aids that they put on those with those Curad
Those
things.
were amazing how quickly those worked too.
Hmm.
They really they knew how to do wonders with that. Also, like I'm on the side of the funeral of Alucarda here for a second. I don't. I know it's maybe. Here's the one thing they should have changed, maybe to make it make sense. Oh, there's some people like Jewish families leave the body out in state for a certain amount of days. There was no reason for him wanting to have the body in the house, like religiously or culturally,
That was
outside
very
of.
strange. Yeah. Why did they want that?
And you would think that once the body's dead, you there's a reason why they get it. Not to get gross about death, right? But there's a reason why the body needs to be drained, and do you
Yeah.
know what I mean, so it doesn't bloat. And the reason why they're, you go through all the steps before burial, and you don't just leave it in someone's house. So like
Yeah.
I'm very much from a health department side. I realize he's also a killing vampire, but let's say I don't know that. I I'm on the side of the mortician of Alucarda.
They were just doing what they do.
Yeah.
And they had like we said, they had a good thing going. They were able to, fly below the radar for so long. And then it just all went to shit all at once.
Yeah.
Isn't that the way it
And
always happens?
it is, and it's like they sent over somebody that was a fuck up. He fell out the window. He got staked. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like a comedy of errors. And Abel Carter was like, "I have built this fucking empire in this town for years. You guys are fucking." You can see his frustration at the end when he grabs the guy. Like I love that scene where he picks up the car and the car can't move. It's like the first time you realize like how powerful these vampires are. We haven't really seen them like unleashed, and that's a pretty cool moment near the end of the movie when that happens.
Leafs in the chat. He made a really cool movie about vampires too.
Yeah.
It was off the beaten path. It was like one of those oddball vampire things. His movie is called Darkness. If you're not familiar, anyway, there's only like 8 people in the chat, and we all know we've all seen Leaf's movie.
I haven't seen it. I have to see it.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No, I have to see it.
It's fabulous. It's like buckets of blood, gory too.
You know how much I love that.
Yes, there's so
Hey,
much
you want to
blood in
see?
the human body in Darkness that it's unbelievable.
Hey, I'll show you what I got in the mail this week while we have 8 people in chat. You ready?
Yeah. Oh wait, let me get rid
Oh,
of this shit over you, and I'll put you full screen.
oh.
I have to be so fussy about this program. Wait,
What?
I thought you were just joking when you said there was a
No,
movie called Amityville Karen coming out.
no. And the tagline is, "She'd like to speak to the manager in hell." I'm super excited about it. MVD sent that because they know of my ridiculous love for Amityville. I'm really excited. This 88 Films put this out, Drive, which is kind of like a superhero martial arts horror movie with Mark Dacascos and Brittany Murphy and Kadeem Henderson. I've never seen it. Really excited. Speaking of really bloody movies, Arrow just put out Two Witches, which was out last year, and it's super, very Fulci gore movie. And the Count Yorga set, Bill, which I will give to you at the drive-in.
Oh wow, fabulous!
Yeah, those are the test ones. I actually bought a Blu-ray this week. This is the Go-Go Boys, the History of Canon Films, also from MVD. I'm very excited. I've seen it before, but I didn't own it, and it's a great thing to have. I'm in the big time now, though. I'm starting to get stuff from what do you call it, like Universal, and yeah, so it's not stuff I want to watch. You're like, why did you get Minions? Like, don't judge me. Like, they sent it to me to review. So uh, I'll have to Cubby and I'll review that. Finally from Kino, Twice Told Tales.
Ooh, I don't think
Yeah,
I've
on
seen that
Blu-ray.
one.
Yeah, and it has a Mick Garris Trailers from Hell. And I'm super excited because for the longest time this movie was lost. I got to see the streaming one. Now it's out, Kamikaze Hearts, which is a great. Is it a documentary? Is it a narrative movie? Is it all lies? What is it? But it's about Sharon Mitchell, the adult star, and her girlfriend Tigger, and what it's like to have a relationship and do adult. But it's hard to really tell. They actually are really doing heroin, though. I will tell you that. But I'm really excited that Kino put that out and it has so many extras. That's like one of my favorite things that's come out this year. So that's what I got in the mail this week. Lots of good stuff coming, though. Man, Vinegar Syndrome this week was like got a whole bunch of shit. We put out stuff you didn't even know existed, and it's like, wow, it's really amazing. So I'm really excited to see all their new stuff they're putting out.
We live in such great times. I know they kind of suck in some ways, but hey, we have all these
Yeah.
fabulous movies to distract us, right?
Yeah.
We finally have access to some of these things that we've been thinking about for decades and trying to track down. So I like that about living now.
Yeah. I'm doing the Genre Blast Film Festival this week. Speaking of, it's a cool thing that you can do film festivals without leaving your house. Some really awesome shorts, actually, that I've seen. They've been going up on the site today, but I saw some really, really good ones today. And a couple good full-length ones, but also a lot of trauma stuff in the thing. And my love of trauma is inverse to my love for canon. So that should tell you how I feel. But
Why do you hate trauma?
I don't like movies that are made bad on purpose. Outside of like a Kentucky Fried Movie or Airplane or movies like that, that's different. That's satire. I just think that they just pander to the lowest id, and I don't think their movies are ever funny or well put together, and like they could be. And I think Lloyd Kaufman's an asshole, and I would tell him to his face. And I hate seeing their logo in front of Fulci movies. Um, I'm so glad that those movies came out from Severin,
What
and especially
Fulci
because
movie did they do?
New Gladiators,
Oh,
Warriors of the Year 2072, and he did a little intro for it talking about his friend Lucio Fulci, and I was like, "Fuck you!" All right, like I wasn't pleased at all. I like Wes Craven more than Wood Kaufman, so
wow.
yeah, not to speak ill of the dead, but anyways, yeah, I just don't like their movies. The one movie was in it like had a really great idea. The idea that starts the movie is there's this girl, and every time she wants to kill herself, and every time she kills herself, she comes to life in another horror movie, and she has to figure out a way to escape it and kill herself again. And it's interesting. That is only talked about in the beginning, and the actual movie that comes out of it is just pretty bad. But there's a couple good things I saw too. So it's always just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But
It sounds like Happy Death Day.
yeah, it's a good idea though, and it's like the film's shot really well, but it's almost like too. After a while, it's like so meta that it's like every line's a reference to another movie, and it just gets kind of a little too much. But I watched Men the other night, by the way. Speaking of too much, I hadn't seen the A24 movie. Did you see that yet?
No.
It's I kind of liked it, but I kind of didn't like it. I really don't know. Like a lot of their movies, like I walk away with it, and I'm thinking, yeah, I guess. Like I don't think I would ever watch it again or recommend it to anybody. But I wasn't like bored by it. But it's about a woman whose husband has killed himself, and she's trying to put her life back together. And as she's doing that, like the same actor almost plays multiple roles, and they keep coming to this house and haunting her. And it's like it's a good idea, but it just kind of like, do you know what I mean? It feels like none of these movies stick the landing. Like they have great trailers and great concepts, and then when you get into them, you're like, okay, but then why? What? Like I don't need all the answers, but I need like some kind of closure. I felt the same way of In Fabric that they also put out, where it was like, yeah, okay, like that's cool. If it was not salvage, let me see what the name of that movie was. Hold on one second. I have my list of everything I did at that fest. Well, if you ever want to get bored and see too many movies, go to my letterbox list. It's
Somebody on your Twitter said that you said you'd gone Videodrome, and they said, "Are you shoving Betamax tapes in your stomach?"
Yeah, Chris Erickson said it. Yeah.
And then I posted a picture of Divine shoving a steak in her fake cooch.
Eating Miss Campbell is the name of this trauma movie. If you guys want to see it, there's for some reason there are a lot of movies that were just kind of based on like being really shocking, and is anything shocking anymore? Do you know what I mean? And like, I don't know, but there are a couple good ones. There's some really good shorts. I got like 20 more movies to write up that I watched today, but I only have 3 movies left on there. Yeah, Chris, In Fabric, I wanted to like it, but like it just didn't like. I don't have like a visceral feeling for these movies, for new movies. I try but there are some certain ones that I do, but there's like I really don't have like a, oh man, this is the greatest thing ever kind of feel for them, or like get fascinated by them in the same way that I might something like what we just watched, if that makes sense. Versus like, I want to learn all about it and know about it and how was it made and where did it play. Like I don't know, none of. But I hope that I feel that way about it. I'm excited about the sequel to X. I will say that. So
I still haven't watched X yet. I know.
I think you'll really like it. I think there's a lot in it that you're really gonna like. I like the Duke of Burgundy a lot, Chris, because obviously it's a Jess Franco movie. It's like him trying to make a Jess Franco movie, and he even has like the weird dissolves and it's pretty good. I really like that. I wanted to like his other movies as much as that, if that makes sense. What else is going on? I'm just excited to finish up this fest, and then hopefully Fantastic Fest will start in a bit, and then have a lot more stuff to watch.
I don't know how you do it. I just don't know how you do it.
Just keep watching shit. Put on like 2 or 3 screens at once. I like to surround myself with screens and just get into it.
I just can't handle it.
But I'm excited about this Count Yorga Blu-ray. I want to see what it only has the 2 movies. I know the Deathmaster isn't connected, so but
it's not connected. Yeah, it's as much as we want to say that it's Count Yorga, it isn't Count Yorga. But we can.
It's still cool that they're making a. You know what I mean? That they made this Arrow put out this set.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see it. I haven't. Is the transfer beautiful?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm saving it for this week because I really don't want to go back to work on Tuesday. So that's my get me back into work Tuesday thing.
Get me out of here.
Get me out of here. For God's sake, don't go into the office.
Look what I posted on Groovy Doom earlier this week. The Temptations of Marianne. Well, that's the original name of the film. It was retitled I Am Sexy. This is from London.
Wow.
From 1973. And look at the second feature, Sam. Erotic Blue. What do you suppose that movie is, huh?
It has Edwidge Fenech in it.
Yes. It's The Case of the
Is that?
Bloody Iris.
I was gonna say Case of the Bloody Iris. Yeah.
You were correct.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, there it was, just playing in a theater with a, sexy movie starting it out.
I wouldn't say if you told me it was a sexy. I mean, it does have Edwidge Fenech in, but it's not really. It's more bloody than whatever.
And not only the iris, right?
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Maybe I'm jaded, right? Maybe it is really sexy.
It's from May 1973, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. That was very nice of you to say. I appreciate it. Thank
Oh, thanks, Steve. Sorry, I was
you.
I
Yeah.
was looking for another ad to put up. I didn't see your
Oh
comment.
no, that was very nice.
Here's a couple more
Ooh.
movies that we all know under other titles. The
The
Night
left is the night. What do you call it? Rose from her grave.
Evelyn.
Evelyn. Yeah, is that right?
Night Evelyn came out of the grave. Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
But Cold
Cold.
Blooded Beast. You can tell by the star what movie this is, right?
I know it's a Kwasinski one, but I'm trying to think what it is.
It's the one the Beast kills in cold blood is the translation of the original title, but it was known in the States as Slaughter Hotel.
Okay. Okay.
Asylum Erotica was another
Wow.
AKA of this one.
I love that night she rose from the tomb artwork. That's really nice.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah.
I just knew that these London ads were going to start paying off sooner or later. I don't know. It wasn't getting a lot of traction early on, and I thought about cutting it short, but I just stuck with it, and I'm
No,
glad I
keep going.
did. Look at this one.
Oh, hey. Oh,
Horror
that is beautiful.
Horror Hospital. This was the original run of Horror Hospital. This was also from May 1973. And that movie was released in the States in 74 by Hallmark Releasing, who put it out under the original title, and then they called it other things like Death Ward Number 13, The Computer Killers.
The Computer Killers is what I know it as. Yeah.
Yeah, and the really bizarre title, Eastworld.
Whoa.
They made,
Instead of Westworld.
yeah.
Yeah.
They actually tried to pass it off as a sequel to Westworld or a similar movie. Which that's a stretch.
Yeah.
And yet, is it? I don't know.
Yeah. The Computer Killers.
Yeah.
And the Corpse.
The Corpse
You really
Grinders.
can't go wrong with that feature. No. Oh, wow.
Just for You.
Oh.
A lizard in a woman's skin.
I mean, I love that there were some people that came for a little bit of sexy, and then they got to the second movie and were just assaulted by just nuttiness by bats. Oh, that's a great poster for that. Really sums up that whole movie. It's just Lauren DeBalkin getting fucked with. That's pretty much that movie.
How about this one?
Oh man.
That's an alternate ad design for the baby. That's nothing like the American ad campaign.
No, at all. And I just can't believe that these two movies played together. Like, man, what a magical time to be alive.
We could have chosen those two movies for a double feature right on this very program. We didn't.
We've shown both of these movies.
Not on the
I think
same
Psychomania is perhaps the most perfect Sam movie ever made because it has bikers, it has Satan, it has women. Do you know what I mean? It has, it's just British craziness. It's great.
I was fascinated by this movie, Lips of Blood,
Yeah.
which is a mummy movie that I'd never heard of before.
Mm.
And apparently it just came out on Blu-ray. It just became available on Blu-ray. It's called Love Brides of the Blood Mummy.
Whoa. What's erotic witchcraft? Is that like Witchcraft 70, like a doc, or?
No, it's erotic witchcraft. Okay. I should have this right at my fingertips because I just posted about it. It's a French film,
Mm.
and it looks like the synopsis says Axel the magician raises a boy into adulthood. When Axel dies, it's the young man, son of a murderer and well tutored by a magician, to keep on the tradition of guarding the daughter of the golem.
I'm 100% into whatever the fuck that is. Like that's. I mean, I'm gonna be hunting this down now and watching it.
Need we say more, right?
I mean, the title alone is like, Sam, watch me. Now there's a golem. Yeah.
It's not the Jean Rollin film, Chris. That one came in 1975. This is actually from 1973.
Mm.
I made that same mistake, but when I looked at the years of the films, that's when I realized, oh, that's not the same movie.
Wow, that is. I would be at the classic Victoria.
Yeah, it's a big idea to get used to.
Yeah, I'd probably wear a raincoat.
Here's another
Oh,
one, Sex and the
wow.
Other Woman, but that second film, A Quiet Place to Kill,
Yeah.
which is, of course, Sam.
Paranoia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Paranoia will destroy
I
us.
love that movie. Actually, I even have the comic book for it that they put the photo comic for it. Man,
Didn't you show that on the program, or did I just hallucinate that?
no, I did show it. Yeah, I'm so glad that it came in and Becca answered the mail when it came in. She was like, the whole comic book of Carol Baker naked, and I can't be like, I don't want that. Like, there's no way that I would. You know what I mean? Like, who would want that? That's horrible.
You need to tell them to start sending you these things in a plain brown wrapper.
Mondo Macabre is the worst. They're like, just please don't send anything. But I want it, so please send it. But send it to Bill's house. We'll get it. We'll switch up some point.
So here's something too I wanted to show you. This is a preview of something coming up on Groovy Doom. This is from June 1978. Here it comes. There it
Oh
is. It's a
wow.
little blurry. Sorry, this is
Yeah.
the best.
No.
It's the only ad I could find where it actually had a graphic image with it. Guess what movie that is? Blackboard Massacre.
Oh. I know what it is, but I can't think.
Uh,
Is it good?
no, you go.
Is it the one I showed the Blu-ray for last week?
Yes,
Sexy Jeans? Yeah. Sexy Jeans.
it's Sexy Jeans.
Yeah, it is Sexy Jeans.
Well,
Wow.
more commonly known as Massacre at Central High.
Yeah, I will only refer to it as Sexy Jeans from here on out. But yeah, wow, that is awesome.
And Circle of Fear, I'm not sure exactly what that is.
No.
I mean, there was a TV show that was out at the same time, so maybe it could be.
Yeah, no, they never released any of those because they're only like 40-minute episodes or 45-minute episodes. That's weird.
Yeah,
Ghost Story, aka Ghost Story.
I'm not really
No.
sure what that. I feel like I looked it up when I found this ad, and I should remember what it is. But
This ad speaks to me of like, this is why I don't run the drive-in because I would show stuff like Massacre at Central High and like 6 people would be there watching it.
oh, I wish it was Haunting of Julia.
Oh,
It couldn't be though.
imagine.
Not with that image, right?
No.
Trapped in a web of
Full
violent.
Circle is the other title for
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
I know it had Circle in it.
I'm looking this up. If only I had a little magic box
What are you looking up?
Circle of Fear.
Oh yeah, I did too. I couldn't figure out which one it was.
What year is this? What year is this right here?
This is from June 1978.
Okay, 78.
I'm looking for more goodies to put up there.
Yeah, it's funny because it looks like the only movie that they have is Circle of Fear. The only thing I'm seeing is there's a movie in '73. Nope, it's a TV series. Huh. Oh, Hell's Creatures.
You know I'm all into this. First of all,
Yeah,
it's an actual newspaper ad that has a bare-chested Paul Naschy in it.
yeah,
And second of all, you know I love that movie, which is actually Frankenstein's Bloody Terror.
yeah.
And that's what it was known as in the UK. This is from 1973. Also, Night of the Devils. I watched that. I watched maybe half of that movie on Shudder, and then I must have lost the thread. So I must have had to turn it off, and I never went back to it.
Hmm.
It's the one that's like the story of the Vordelak. The Wordalak.
Yeah,
I know I butchered the pronunciation of that.
you did better with it than I would ever do. Yeah, I
Anyway,
can't find anything on that Circle of Fear. That's really interesting. Oh man,
yeah, I
these are
was
great.
stumped also. Anyhow,
I tell you what, my dream. If I'm so glad, I'm both happy and not happy that I don't have those canon film books that Austin does, because I would never do anything but just page through them. Like the one that has what, like 1,100 movies in it. Like it was like wow, and I love that it's like pink, black, and white. Those are the only colors. Like it's
Sam's lost in his film Bible again.
yep. Oh, there's Sam. He's down there reading Nightmare USA all day and all this other stuff.
I
His
still
canon
feel like
film.
I haven't scratched the surface on that book.
I haven't either. I was just rereading it about the interview with the guy who did the music for our movie next week. Uh, I'm only going to call movies the Starlight Swamp that we're watching next week.
Starlight Slaughter.
I only refer to movies by Sexy Jeans and Starlight Swamp that we're watching Eaten Alive, and man, it made me even more excited about watching Eaten Alive. So
Yeah,
super
me
excited.
too.
Super excited to have Neon Brainiacs on too, because those guys are great.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see them again. And right after their triumph of their 5th anniversary podcast that we attended, it was a live recording of their podcast episode. It was a lot of fun. It was in a barber shop. Took
Yeah.
place in a barber shop for an audience of I think what were there 10, including us.
Yeah, and Becca got a haircut while she was there. Literally did.
She did.
The barber fixed up her hair because he said your husband did a shitty job on it. So
I bet he didn't say that, but I bet she might have.
no, he said it to me. He said you're not good at this, and I said okay, I can't be good at it. I can't be good at everything.
That's great.
Yeah, so I wasn't offended. Yeah, I'm excited to have those guys on, and like, super excited to have we're pretty close to getting close to the drive-in, and I got Goblin tickets this week, so it's really been a banner week of stuff.
That's right. Goblin is going to be here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Well,
at Carnegie Music Hall, which is going to be a pretty fun place to see him in. The same place John Carpenter played in Homestead. So
Claudio
that'd be pretty cool.
Simonetti's Goblin.
Yeah,
Is there
it's
another
fun.
version of Goblin that's performing?
There were two touring Goblins for a while. So yeah, there were, but this is the Claudio Simonetti one. They're doing all of Suspiria, and then they have a the second sets, like kind of they come in and do a few other uh, songs from movies, which will be cool. There's also a festival going on. I can't remember the name of it is in New York coming up next week, and they have 8 Fulci movies as part of it, which is pretty cool.
Right
So,
on.
well, last thing I want to say before I go, I know I mentioned this to you. I'll mention it to our dwindling loyal viewers here. I read an article last week that enraged me about how the first A24 movie should have been Let's Scare Jessica to Death because that's the original elevated horror. and I'm still mad about it. It's taken me a lot of times to come to grips with it, but it's like, no, you don't get to do that. I was really fucking pissed. Um, Join me in being this angry. Um,
I'm already there.
You know what though? Like I've gotten to the point now where like I saw something online the other day, and it's like if someone has a shitty take, the majority of people will see that it's a shitty take and just let them see it. And like old me would have been like, I have to fucking destroy this person. Like I have to, like this can't stand. You know what I mean? Like I'm like Highlander with my keyboard. There can only be one. And don't ruin Let's Scare Jessica to Death for everybody. And now I'm just like, no, you're right. This person, everyone will see it. But I still feel like I need to at least say something little. It's like, it's a bad idea. Right? It's like some movies are just horror. All movies are just horror movies or whatever they are. They don't have to be elevated.
Yeah, I mean, why? I don't know, because you can always think of something before that was elevated horror or whatever term you
I
want to
mean,
use.
Night of the Living Dead is elevated horror because it's not just, it has stuff in it.
It has social commentary.
Yeah. Inversely, my other favorite thing this week is people on Twitter complaining that the next Hellraiser is going to be too gay. And I was like, have you ever seen it? Tell me you've never seen a Hellraiser movie written by
when wasn't it Barker. Really gay?
Written by noted heterosexual Clive Barker.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I guess he didn't see the movies, but it's just like it's hilarious. And it's like, yeah, it's the same thing as like, horror movies didn't used to be so political. Yeah, they always were. Maybe they did a better job of hiding it, or they're better at subtext than they are today. But all horror has always been elevated. Yeah, like Chris said, Carnival of Souls could be an elevated horror movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, but it's just like it was like a list of like these are the original A24 movies. I'm like, okay, like cool. I don't want to think about this. So anyway, I won't. It's out of my system. I purged it. Thank you for being there for me, everybody.
I think that's good to leave the viewers with, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, watch lots of movies this week, everybody. Enjoy it. Labor Day. You fucking socialists.
You got an extra day to just piss off and do nothing. So watch some movies.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm excited.
I know you're going to do it. I wasn't talking to you.
I want everybody to do
That's all you do all day is watch movies.
And then I'm like listening to podcasts when I'm working out about movies.
Right.
Or I'm thinking about movie ideas.
Your life is a deep dive, Sam.
That's what I want it to be. I want it to be exciting about, get into these movies.
I envy you. I want your life. I'll have your life too, Sam. One of these days.
I will kill you.
Come back next weekend. Neon Brainiac and us, Eaten Alive and Hunter's Blood on the Driving Asylum.
Under 17, not admitted without parents or guardians. Under 17, not admitted without parents or guardian.